Good afternoon, everyone. Here is your daily video weather report. Meteorologist Ted Keller. Of course, we got an impending winter storm coming in just over 24 hours from now. Still some debate and some question as to the amount and type of precipitation to fall. But rest assured, we will get some snow, sleet, freezing rain, combination of all three for some of you. And the biggest question here is whether we're going to get significant accumulations of ice. That's the main concern, I think, here tonight. Let's go through, first of all, and show you the winter advisories. An extensive area of winter storm watch out ahead of this storm, affecting a lot of states all the way up well into Minnesota and South Dakota and all the way down into central Arkansas. Weather Service has now hoisted winter storm warnings. Most of this is snow here in the pink, and then some advisories down to the south of that. So if you're heading down toward Tulsa, that area, you're on the edge of this winter storm as it develops again about 24 hours from now. Here is, I think, what the greatest concern for ice accumulation would be. I shifted this a little bit more south from my morning report with the latest model trends indicating that. So basically in this area here, we're talking about, I think, anywhere from potential between, let's say, 1/10 and maybe 3/10 of an inch of ice. That's not the most severe you can have. If it gets up over a ½ inch, you've got some problems. And I think there are several things that will help to mitigate that, including the number of actual pure ice hours, speed of the storm system, things of that nature. You should also note that it'll be kind of an ice and sleet mix up here, and it may just be pure snow if you go about an hour north of Springfield, with maybe a few inches of accumulation possible in those areas. Here's a simulated radar for what I think, not what I think, what the computer thinks will happen Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Just to give you an idea, one thing here is that these are convective bands, meaning there might be some thunder in this, but they're organized like rain bands, that one right there. And notice that in the precipitation type now, the orange is sleet, and then the pinkish kind of salmon color is freezing rain. So in the core of these, like right here and right here, it actually turns to sleet. So convective bands help to reduce the freezing rain potential. That's, again, some good news. So that is one thing that I think will keep the totals of freezing rain down perhaps just a little bit. And just in case you were wondering what these precipitation types are, what they mean, here's a quick diagram that I can show you. So if this is the surface and this is the upper air and everything in blue is below freezing and everything in red is above freezing, this is how it organizes out. In snow events, where you have the flakes falling, it's all in pure below freezing air, except maybe in some cases down here you might have a above freezing layer not thick enough to melt the snow. That does happen occasionally. Then now sleet and freezing rain have one thing in common. They both have a layer of relatively warm above freezing air above and a layer of freezing air at the surface. Now the difference between sleet and freezing rain is that sleet has a deeper layer and freezing rain has a shallow layer. That means sleet, this will turn to rain when this falls in the warm layer right there, and then will form little sleet balls as it comes down and hits the surface and kind of tings. Now with freezing rain, they remain raindrops till the very end, and then they freeze on contact with surface objects, usually elevated surface objects. See, freezing rain is just not good. It's just going to cost you money if it does anything else. And then, of course, pure rain on the right is all warm throughout the entire descent of the raindrops. So that's another way of looking at it. This is a simulated, again, a precipitation type. What we're looking at here is about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and what we'll do is roll through. This is just one model's example, although I happen to think it's a pretty good one. Green is rain, blue is snow. You'll notice at first, when we get into the evening hours, here's dinner time, 6 p.m. tomorrow. Then we get into about 9 p.m. We're getting a little bit of freezing rain and sleet and snow mixed in that. Notice again, it's a mix, and it's layered so that the snow is closer to the colder air. Rain starts to maybe get into southwest Missouri. And then here we are now. This is 3 o'clock in the morning. What I think is that this is one wave of precipitation. This is going to be the snow, sleet, and slight freezing rain maker for the Ozarks. That almost gets out of here in time for morning school and back to work. And then later in the morning, we have this convective band that I showed you right there. And see, that's this right here with sleet in its core, freezing rain on the outside. By the way, this line is a rough approximation of where the freezing line is at the surface. So we're looking at that lasting into the morning hours of Thursday before I think we finally change over to either light freezing, drizzle, or rain by Thursday afternoon. That's my weather update. I'll have another update tomorrow in 24 hours or as the situation warrants.